Hello everybody, it's Foo here, and today I'm really excited to talk to you about a Pokemon that gives zero fox, and that is Thievul, the fox Pokemon that I really love. I think its design is amazing. One of my favorites when I was going into this generation. I knew I had to use it. I used it all through my playthrough, but I was pretty disappointed when I found out that it wasn't the best in battle. Looking at its stats, it really was quite disappointing with no standout stats really. It's pretty frail, it's not the fastest thing, and it's definitely not the most powerful. But then I was really happy to find out that there's a particular set that I really enjoy using that's pretty effective in battle. It needs some support, but if you have that support, it can definitely do some work. And that is a throat spray set. So it shows off a new Pokemon with a new item. I think that's awesome. Throat spray boosts your special attack when you use a sound-based move, and this pairs really well with Thievul's Unburden ability. So when you use your item, you then get double speed. So if you're able to use both the throat spray to boost your special attack and the Unburden ability to double your speed, you then become very fast and a lot more powerful. So you're looking really good to sweep, and Thievul can use this combination with its move Snarl. So you go for Snarl, not the most powerful dark type move, but with same type attack bonus, it can be good at picking off certain Pokemon, and it's just a nice way to get some damage while also activating your throat spray, activating your Unburden ability, and the next turn you're looking really strong. Snarl is also nice because it drops the opponent's special attack stat, which means that you're more likely to survive any incoming attacks. It might even allow you to set up a nasty plot on the following turn, which means that you'd have +2 speed, +3 special attack, and that's kind of what you need for this Pokemon to do enough damage to sweep. The issue with this set is you only have 2 move slots for coverage moves. The first one probably has to be Dark Pulse, just because it's a much more powerful dark type move that will hit most things pretty well. Psychic is then the best coverage move because it also hits fighting types, which you struggle with. But with this combination, you still really struggle with dark types, so you need to be aware of that. Other sets with more coverage will try to fit Grass Knot on the set, and you could maybe swap out Nasty Plot for Grass Knot, but really I think you need both the Snarl and Nasty Plot setup options for this set to be effective. And it can be effective, as I will show you now. So I really like supporting this Thievul with Galarian Weezing. I've shown that in my previous video. Galarian Weezing can taunt to prevent Reflect and Light Screen being set up, and prevent Trick Room, which would really scupper a Thievul sweep. But more importantly, it gets the move Memento, which can drop the opponent's attack and special attack, and it gets you a free switch into Thievul. So I think that that's really helpful and a great way to use it. That means that Thievul can come in, and though it's very frail, it'll have at least one turn to set up a Snarl or a Nasty Plot, and the opponent won't be able to take it out. So that's what happens here. We get the Snarl off, we get the special attack boost from the throat spray, we get the Unburden boost, meaning that we outspeed everything. The Corviknight isn't able to do enough damage because of Memento, but then Darmanitan comes in, and actually, unfortunately, just with the throat spray boost, we don't take it out, but we do get the Dark Pulse flinch, which just shows that Dark Pulse is a really nice offensive move to run, just because that secondary effect is so hard to beat. And then the Dragapult comes in, and we can take that out too. So this just showed a quick sweep of how this could work. Obviously, we got the flinch there, which was really lucky. If I had set up Stealth Rock earlier, maybe that Darmanitan would have gone down and we wouldn't have had to rely on the flinch, but we got it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. At the end here, I just Dynamax in case the Dark Pulse wouldn't have taken out this Corviknight, but I'm pretty sure it would, having seen the damage from the Snarl earlier. Dark Pulse is more powerful, and we got the +1 after we went for Snarl. So that was a quick battle to show you how it works. I've got a couple more battles here to show you it functioning kind of outside of the Weezing Thievul setup sweep. So let's see what you guys think of these. Now here I'm going up against a Galarian Corsola, one of the most annoying walls in the game. It's so bulky, but I wanted to show you that actually it's just setup fodder for Thievul. It's really nice, and you do see quite a lot of Galarian Corsola just because they're so bulky and everyone's using them as a nice check to physical attackers. Being a special attacker, Thievul can go for whatever setup it wants to go to. I mean, Corsola doesn't really do too much to Thievul and Strength Sap isn't going to be healing that much. So we get the Snarl off, it does a decent amount of damage, we get our boost to our special attack, we get our Unburden activated, but we see that Corso's going for Amnesia, which could be a problem, apart from we do have Nasty Plot too, so we can kind of just try to match those boosts. And seeing the damage from Snarl on the first turn, I'm not worried about not doing enough damage to this Corsola. I think even if we both get to +6, I'll be able to 2-hit KO the Corsola. So here you see the Corsola going for the Will-O-Wisp. It does mean that I will have some overtime damage, but I can go for the Dark Pulse, seeing as though it didn't go for an Amnesia the last turn, but it doesn't take it out, which is kind of annoying. But because I'm a special attacker, Strength Sap isn't healing enough, I'm able to go for the follow-up Dark Pulse, and we can 2-hit KO this Corsola, which is great, and it's also allowed us to set up a load of Nasty Plots and have the Unburden boost, which is great. The only Pokemon that the opponent had left in the back was a really low health Gyarados and a Pokemon that I hadn't seen yet, so we can take out the Gyarados fine. Obviously we outspeed after Unburden. But what's the last Pokemon going to be? I thought this was really important to show because it is a Dark type in Hydreigon. We have no coverage for Dark types. We have to go for the resisted Dark Pulse, which does a nice amount of damage after the boost, but doesn't take it out. But again, we get the flinch, which allows us to win that one, and the opponent does cancel the battle. So it's just to show off that if the opponent has a Dark type, you really need to get some chip damage on them earlier in the battle for you to have an assured sweep. But we still won anyway because Dark Pulse is really annoying. Anyway, in this battle, we're going off against an opponent who has a relatively bulky looking team, and they brought a Quagsire, which I've got a Gyarados and a Thievul, and it's going to be a problem for one of them because it's either got Water Absorb or Unaware. Unaware will be completely oblivious to my Thievul's boosts, so this Quagsire will probably not take much damage from Thievul, so we probably need to do quite a bit of damage to that first. So anyway, I've got my Weezing in here. We've just got a bit of a stall going on with Quagsire and Weezing. I just want to get as much chip as possible. I do have the Taunt, so I can prevent it from going for a Recover. As long as I can get a good amount of damage on this Quagsire, I'm looking better for later in the game. So that's what I'm trying to do at the moment, just spamming some Strange Steam. Don't do much damage after leftovers. But you see here, the opponent switches out their Quagsire. It's not on full health, which is a good thing. As I'm going for a Taunt, and the Corviknight comes in. So I'm thinking maybe it's going for a Steel type move. I'll just go into my Gyarados because that can resist, but it's actually going for the Brave Bird, which does tons of damage to Gyarados. Corviknight is probably my best setup opportunity though, for Thievul, because it's more bulky on the physical side and not the special side, so it'll allow me to get the Snarl off. I'll do decent damage and should hopefully KO with the Dark Pulse the following turn. But anyway, we've done some good damage to this Corviknight. I go for another Waterfall, and the Corviknight's going for Roost. It's actually doing about the same amount of damage as it's roosting off. So if the opponent wants to keep their Corviknight healthy, they're probably going to have to switch it out, which isn't a bad. It's not a bad deal for me. I kind of want them to take my Gyarados out and leave their Corviknight on low HP so that my Thievul can then take it out with a Snarl. But that's not what happens. You see that Quagsire comes in and I am able to 2-hit KO it with Waterfall because apparently it's Unaware and not Water Absorb. So we take out that Quagsire. Great. Apart from the opponent then goes into their Dragapult, which now outspeeds the entirety of my team and could do some really bad damage. And worse than that, it goes for the Dynamax, which means that nothing will be able to take a hit from this Dragapult now. So that's really bad. So it is just going to take out my Gyarados here with its Max Phantasm. So yeah, that's not ideal. But then we have what I have to do now basically is waste its Dynamax turns. I've got my Weezing on low health. We'll just let it take out my Weezing. That's one more turn. And I only have my Thievul in back that has to clutch this for me against a Dynamax Dragapult. How is it going to do this? Well, how it's going to do it is, first off, we're going to Dynamax because we need to get some momentum in our favour. And we only have to max guard this turn, and that will waste the last turn of Dragapult's Dynamax. And then we'll be Dynamax, they won't be Dynamax. We'll hopefully be able to take a hit and take them out. But this is when I realised that I don't have max Dynamax level on my Thievul, which isn't ideal because I don't have max HP. So I probably won't be able to take a hit from this Dragapult. not good. Not good at all. When I saw this U-turn damage, I was like, oh my god, and then I realized I didn't have max HP. But it actually comes to my rescue, the fact that I'm not max Dynamax level, because the Corviknight comes in, I could go for the max Darkness, and it's because it's not max Dynamax level, it doesn't take out this Corviknight. And what that means is, if I go for max Guard on the following turn, I waste my last turn of my Dynamax, which means that on the following turn, I can go for the Snarl to activate my Throat Spray and my Unburden, which I wouldn't be able to do while I was Dynamaxed. And I can then take out the Corviknight and outspeed the Dragapult on the following turn, which is like kind of crazy, and that's all because I didn't have max Dynamax level. So I got a bit lucky there, but it's kind of cool to see. You need to do maneuvering with this Pokemon. You need to get in the right opportunity to set up your Snarl or your Nasty Plot, depending on which is more important, the speed or the power. And then you can go for the follow-up move. In this case, we're going to go for the Dark Pulse, so we are going to outspeed the Dragapult. The opponent definitely won't have seen that one coming. And I managed to clutch this game with Dragapult in what was one of the craziest games I've had this generation. So I think I've shown you that Thievul does have potential. It's definitely not the best Pokemon out there. You need to support it, but you can use it, and Throat Spray is a really fun way to use it because you've got control over when you get that Unburden boost. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. All the stuff you've said is I've been Foo, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Goodbye!